Hello and welcome to this lesson about analyzing unfamiliar texts. Today we're looking at how to focus on the question in your answer to unfamiliar texts. The key thing that you want to do to start an unfamiliar text script when you're answering it is you want to use the words from the question in your answer right away at the start. So for example, in this question about the text, the speech building biodiversity, building NZ, the question is asking us to analyze how the speaker purposefully chooses language to communicate the message that NZers must value nature's gifts. So right away, I want to start my answer by addressing that question. I want to start off by saying the speech by Al Morrison about the state of the nation's environment is trying to convince all Kiwis that we must value nature's gifts. If I start off by repeating his words, the examiner knows that I'm addressing the question. But I need to make sure that I don't just focus on the easy part. I need to go back then and choose the hard part, which is the choice of language, the analysis of language. His speech uses language powerfully to share the message with all of his listeners. Like any good speech, he starts with a forceful introduction. At the start, he uses personal pronouns to involve all of his listeners in the conversation so that we can imagine how we should feel about New Zealand's natural beauty. So here what I've done is I've listed my technique, but I've also focused on the reader's response. So what that reader's response does is it shows that I'm engaging with this technique, not just as a technique itself, but on how I'm thinking through. I need to make sure I have a quotation now. He says that the value of nature takes us beyond our sense of significance and puts us in our place in the vastness of nature. These personal pronouns make sure that we all think of moments when we have been awed by the natural biodiversity of New Zealand's landscape. But he doesn't stop there. He finishes with a powerful conclusion as well. At the end, he leaves the audience with the proverb: if we look after the land will look after us. As a conclusion, the listener cannot help but remember all the wisdom they've learned through the ages, and remember that people have been looking after the land for far longer than people have had departments of conservation to fight the political fight. Looking after the land is a value that we should all cherish.